Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Arnold Gardens hero arrested by police facing murder charge. A man hailed as a hero for saving the life of a Jamaica public service contractor in Arnold Gardens in February is now in custody after he was listed as wanted by the police. Kemar Doggy Campbell turned himself over to the police in the company of his lawyer on Thursday after he was featured in the Jamaica Constabulary Force's Wanted Wednesdays. Head of the Kingston Western Division, Senior Superintendent Michael Phelps, said Campbell, who was being sought concerning a June 29, 2002 murder in his community, will be charged. He is being interviewed, after which a warrant will be executed on him and formal charges to be laid, SSP Phelps told reporters. Campbell, 26, a shopkeeper from Phase 7 Arnold Gardens, Kingston 12, is being questioned in connection with the death of Clayton Brand, 33, from Woodward Street, also in Kingston 12. Brand was killed along 8th Street in Arnold Gardens. It was reported that about 9:50 p.m., police on mobile patrol in the area heard loud explosions sounding like gunshot and went to investigate. There they saw a man on the road with what appeared to be gunshot wounds to the upper body and a yellow and black CG 150 motorcycle lying beside him. He was rushed to the Kingston Public Hospital by the police, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. 5 pence casings were found at the scene. High-level investigations led the police to Campbell, who was named as wanted. In February, Campbell became somewhat of a local hero after he, without any regard for his own life, climbed a JPS utility pole and rescued a technician who was electrocuted and hanging from the pole. The incident drew nationwide attention, and Campbell was commended for every angle, especially since he had no prior experience or training in dealing with such situation. Another man charged with cops' murder. Detectives assigned to the Major Investigations Division have arrested and charged a man with the murder of Constable Jermaine Brown, who was killed in Johnson Pen, Spanish Town, St. Catherine on Friday, July 19. 29-year-old Romain Powell, otherwise called Trigger, a tiler of Johnson Pen Road in the parish, was charged on Thursday with the murder of Constable after he was positively pointed out in an identification parade. Reports are that Brown went to Johnson Pen community in his private motor car about 4:50 p.m. when gunmen attacked him and shot him several times. He died on the spot. Powell's accomplice, 19-year-old Giovanni Finley, otherwise called Joe of Kitstertown, St. Catherine, was previously charged on Friday, August 5th with the murder of Constable Brown. Third policeman accused of killing St. Andrew Tyler denied bail. The third policeman accused of killing a St. Andrew Tyler was denied bail when he appeared in court on August 11. 23-year-old Constable Kemar Dennis is charged with the murder of 49-year-old Philip Wallace. Dennis is to return to court on September 6. Defense lawyer Peter Champagny said the bail denial will be appealed. He argued that his client maintains his innocence and that at the time of the incident, Constable Dennis was at the airport about to leave the island. Peter argued that the cop did not attempt to flee the country because arrangements for travel had been made months before actual departure. Reports were that on July 16, Wallace was shot and killed in Red Hills by a group of men said to be police officers. 2 cops, Corporal Miguel Ebanks and Constable Purcell Carter, were arrested and charged with murder earlier this month. Ebanks and Carter remain in custody and are to return to court on September 6. Dennis had been listed as wanted by the police following reports that he left the island shortly after the incident. He was arrested upon his return from the United States last week. $700 million loan scheme set up to relieve entertainment transport sector. The Development Bank of Jamaica, in partnership with microfinance entities, is offering low interest, no collateral loans up to $750,000 to small business owners in the entertainment and transport sector. The Ready for the Road scheme was launched yesterday afternoon as business continued to recover from the COVID-19 downturn while simultaneously dealing with further economic shocks. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark is encouraging operators not to pass up on the opportunity.
But this dedicated loan facilities to persons who operate at all levels in the entertainment facility, in entertainment industry, will allow those who are not yet back on their feet to have access to financing to go on the road again. These loans will be available for 3 years with an initial 2-month moratorium. And in terms of the need to provide collateral, that need will be non-existent. There is no collateral required because we'll be using a guarantee facility. But this must be seen as the government putting its money where its mouth is and stepping up and providing support to MSMEs that operate in the entertainment space. You can access up to $750,000 if you are a PPV operator, you are a carriage contract operator, you're a tour bus operator, or otherwise. And these funds can be used to make your business more attractive to customers. And again, we're lending this network of financial institutions at 3%. But I want to encourage you to champion it among your customer base. And I beg you, we're leaving it to you. We are providing the loan at a low cost. And you notice I tell everybody how much we're lending you at. We're lending you at 3%. Everybody said 3%. 3%. So make sure that when you unlend, I know you have to make a margin. You have to cover your admin costs. You have to whatever, right? But we want, at the end of the day, we want the loan to be taken up and used, and it needs to be effective. So I want you to think long term.
Meanwhile, Dr. Clark says the $25,000 grant offered to transport operators will soon be ready for those who have already applied. He says the fund should be ready for disbursement as early as this week.
Now, for the grant facility, 3,600 taxi operators have already qualified, and the funds for those grants, for those 3,600 taxi operators, have been sent to LASCO Financial under the contractual terms of engagement with them, and the payment details are being sent to them. And once they get those payment details, text messages are going to go out to 3,600 taxi operators. I'm expecting it to happen this week, if not Monday. And the taxi operators, the 3,600 of them, can go to their LASCO Financial outlet and collect their $25,000. Because when it was initially launched, there was a cutoff date that said you had to have your license fully paid up by April 30th. Now, there are taxi operators who, some of them, they paid up a little bit after April 30th, or in some instances, they actually went in before, but the Transport Authority, their license, when they got the printout of their license, the date is in May, due to no fault of their own. For that reason, a policy change has been made to say if you have your license paid up by August 31st of this year, and we still have 2 weeks to go, or 2.5 weeks to go to August 31st, you will also qualify for this $25,000 transport grant. And I want to encourage, as I know Minister Shaw has been doing, all contract carriage operators, all taxi operators, to avail yourself of this opportunity. It has been budgeted for, it has been provided for, and we don't want to take the money back into the consult fund. There's $25,000 grant available to all taxi and PPV operators who are licensed, duly licensed and printed. License is printed and dated prior to August 31st.
Strike by JPS workers averted after Labour Minister intervenes in talks between company and employees. The Minister of Labour was forced to intervene in talks between the Jamaica Public Service JPS and its employees to prevent the workers from taking industrial action. In a release, the ministry said on August 10, it received a report that workers employed to the JPS were restive following a breakout in wage talks between the company and workers represented by the National Workers Union and the Bustamante Industrial Trade Union. It said after several hours of conciliation talks at the ministry's North-South office, the parties reached an agreement at midnight and normalcy has been restored to the company. Labour Minister Costum Muda has commended the parties on their maturity in handling the discussions that facilitated the settlement of the protracted negotiations. Meanwhile, General Secretary of the National Workers Union, Granville Valentine, says the workers are happy that the issues have been resolved and the wage agreement has been signed. He has thanked the ministry for his intervention, but blamed the management of JPS for the protracted negotiations. Speaking to reporters, Mr. Valentine said there was a disagreement with the management about the sick leave bank policy at the company. As sick leave bank provides members who are experiencing serious illnesses an opportunity to request additional paid leave from the bank after exhausting all personal occurred leaves. Mr. Valentine said the dispute could have escalated.
We first must thank the minister and his team for intervention into a dispute that could have really gone bad. The honest truth is that the blame must be laid squarely at the feet of the approach that the management of JPS has taken, wherein we would have negotiated our heads of agreement contractual period of 2 years, completed the negotiation for over 2 weeks. Full understanding on both sides, and the management refused to sign. You don't do that with trade union. You don't do that with workers. It will really spill over in a bad way. But the long and the short is that whilst the relationship would have been a little damaged, good sense prevailed at the end of the day. We signed off the agreement early this morning, closer to 1 a.m. They said all is well that ends well. Our members are pretty happy with the final analysis. This contract that we would have signed, we are in 21 months in the contract period, so there's another 3 months left. The thing is that we now go right into a new contract period, and it is important that we start early and hope no minds at the time. As it relates to industrial unrest, we have spoken to our members, so we have no fear that normalcy will resume with immediacy. The important thing is that the minister's intervention, or the Ministry of Labor intervention, was very, very important, and it works well. We have to thank the minister for that.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell